Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to episode 46 of Young Justice, Endgame. We begin this episode on Rimbor on June 20th, where the High Court of Rimbor has declared the 6 members of the Justice League on trial to be guilty on all counts, despite Icon having provided substantial evidence that proves those 6 members of the Justice League's innocence. As the 6 Justice League members on trial are being taken away and the audience members leave the building, Superboy, Miss Martian, and Adam Strange arrive and show Icon and Hawkman a recording of the Light and the Reach's summit from the previous episode, which provides explicit evidence that the Light are the ones responsible for brainwashing the Justice League and forcing those 6 members to attack Rimbor all those years ago. Unfortunately, Icon tells them that they're too late now. The next scene takes us to New York City, where Aqualad, Blue Beetle, and Green Beetle storm the Reach spacecraft that's outside the United Nations building, and they engage Black Beetle in a very intense fight. During the fight, Green Beetle attempts to reset Black Beetle's Scarab, but this backfires as Black Beetle's Scarab uses an energy surge of some kind to destroy Green Beetle's Scarab. Although the host of a Scarab is normally killed if a Scarab is destroyed, Ba'ar's O'Om manages to survive due to being a Martian, but Black Beetle intends to finish Ba'ar's O'Om off while he's weakened. Back on Rimbor, the High Court actually do agree to look at this new evidence that has been provided, and they do admit that this evidence is very compelling, but they still say that they have made their ruling. But Icon points out that it has to be overruled because it's very explicit evidence that proves the true guilty individuals. But the High Court, not so subtly, makes it clear that they want some bribes, and Superboy and Miss Martian manage to improvise a solution. They tell the High Court that if they go with a fair ruling, in other words, clear the Justice League's name or prove that the Justice League are innocent of the crime, then it would show other worlds that the Court of Rimbor has demonstrated a fair ruling. And if that happens, that means that it'll bring more cases to this particular court, which means they have more opportunities to have more bribes. And this seems to intrigue the High Court of Rimbor. Back in New York, Black Beetle is about to finish off Ba'ar's O'Om, but Blue Beetle manages to save him. And while Black Beetle and his Scarab attempt to destroy Blue Beetle's Scarab, as what happened to Green Beetle's Scarab not too long ago, Jaime Reyes and the Scarab prove that the Blue Beetle's Scarab have proven that they're now a team that can cooperate with each other, and they manage to turn the table against Black Beetle. So it's Black Beetle's Scarab that's destroyed, not Blue Beetle's Scarab. So Black Beetle has now been defeated. But when the 2 Scarabs connected, Blue Beetle discovered what Black Beetle's plan was to destroy Earth, to remove any evidence of the Reach tampering with Earth. The next scene shows us, we get a couple of various scenes and various timestamps which show something in common is happening in all these areas. We see these 2 Reach drones in each area, and with these drones, there's a red device of some kind. And on the Watchtower, some heroes, Justice League members and Young Justice team members alike, are discussing this, and Blue Beetle is telling them about what he found out from Black Beetle's scarab. It turns out that these are MFDs. The red devices are MFDs, and the Reach drones are there to guard the MFDs so that the energy can crystallize. That's how they describe it. The energy from the MFDs are trying to crystallize, and when they do, it will destroy the Earth. And Blue Beetle said that he was able to find 20 of these, 20 MFDs scattered throughout the planet. And he admits that there isn't any known way to stop the devices because Black Beetle himself didn't know of a way to stop the devices. It was meant to be the Reach's Endgame. But then the Justice League receive a call from Sane, but it turns out Lex Luthor is actually the one making the call. Sane allowed him to use this frequency to contact the Justice League because Lex Luthor points out that Earth being destroyed is a mutual problem for all of them, and he actually has a solution. Because the light always intended to betray the Reach, Lex Luthor was able to create some anti-Reach software which they can use to stop the MFDs. And yeah, so that's his plan. And they do agree that they all want to protect the Earth, so the heroes do have to agree with Lex Luthor's solution, even if it's begrudging on their part. Back on Rimbor, the High Court of Rimbor has decided to change the ruling and declare the 6 members of the Justice League on trial innocent of the crimes. While that's happening, or right before the new ruling is made, Miss Martian and Superboy have a chance to talk to each other, and Miss Martian does apologize to Superboy with how they broke up because of her actions. And she also says that she is happy for Superboy that he's dating Wendy now. But Superboy quickly clarifies that he's not dating Wendy. Wendy and Marvin are dating each other. It turns out Superboy Superboy joined them because he was their buffer, because both of them were nervous about messing up their new status as a couple. So he was there to kind of be the sounding board, so to speak. And Miss Martian says that it was really nice of Superboy to do that for the both of them. And with the Justice League's 6 members cleared of with their names cleared and them being innocent, Icon thanks the Young Justice team as a whole. Directly, he thanks Miss Martian and Superboy, but he thanks the Young Justice team as a whole for helping the Justice League out. And he assures Superboy and Miss Martian, and Adam Strange for that matter, that they can return to Earth through Zeta Beam technology right away. The Justice League members can take care of everything on Rimbor from here on out. So Superboy, Miss Martian, and Adam Strange return to Earth through Zeta Beam technology. We then head to Metropolis, where 40 heroes, Justice League members, Young Justice team members, and other heroes alike, and even the Runaways are there, I should mention too. They're all gathered together while Captain Atom and Lex Luthor are explaining the situation with the MFDs. And Blue Beetle is helping to create these Reach eggs, which is, that's how Lex Luthor is installing the anti-Reach software. He's installing the software into these Reach eggs that Blue Beetle, that the Scarab, I should say, Blue Beetle Scarab is creating. And they have to have these eggs with the anti-Reach software touch the, or make contact with the MFDs in order to deactivate them. And because there are 20 known MFDs scattered throughout the planet, and there's 40 heroes gathered together, they're going to split up into teams of 2. So in each of these teams, one person will distract the Reach drones while the other individual will bring the anti-Reach egg to make contact with the MFD to deactivate the MFD. So with that all situated, they set their plan into motion. Oh, and Lucas Carr is coordinating all of the different teams from the Watchtower. And back on Rimbor, the Justice League members are preparing to head home, or back to Earth. But then suddenly, Vandal Savage actually, these holographic screens pop up throughout Rimbor, and Vandal Savage is on the screen. He announces that he says that he forbids any invaders from invading Earth, and anyone who disobeys his orders will pay the consequences for this. The Justice League members soon see how Vandal Savage intends to carry out his threats when they see the War World passing by Rimbor. Back on Earth, we do get to see various scenes of these different teams of heroes working together to take care of the MFDs and to deactivate them. And eventually, it seems like all 20 of the MFDs have been deactivated, but something is still wrong. It looks like the Earth is still in danger. Blue Beetle contacts the heroes to let them know that it turns out there was a 21st MFD, but he didn't originally find it, or he wasn't able to locate it originally because of its location. The northern magnetic pole that kind of disrupted the signal, which is why he didn't catch it originally. So, but any Zeta Beam technology that's near that area, it's still quite a distance away. So Flash ends up heading there due to his super speed, and Impulse follows suit, Impulse goes with him to help out because they're both known for their super speed. So Flash and Impulse do arrive in the northern magnetic pole, but by the time they reach the location, the MFD has already crystallized its energy, and so they can't use the anti-Reach software anymore. But Lex Luthor contacts them and tells them that there is a solution still, there is still a way to stop it. What they have to do is the two speedsters have to run counter to the energy flow. So the energy flow is going one way. They have to run around it in the opposite direction, the hope is that it will neutralize the energy or siphon the crystallized energy. So Flash and Impulse prepare to do just that, and they go at their top speed to make sure that it's as effective as possible. And a lot of the heroes are watching this, but then Artemis notices that Kid Flash has left. And we soon see that Kid Flash actually sped off Kid Flash used his super speed to get to the northern magnetic pole, and Kid Flash intends to help Flash and Impulse. So the three speedsters are working together to stop this crystallized energy. And while they're doing that, several other members of the Young Justice team eventually arrive to the area as well. More specifically, the members are Nightwing, Aqualad, Superboy, Miss Martian, Artemis, and Blue Beetle. And while this is happening, though, a lot of the energy is targeting Kid Flash, and the Scarab actually brings this up to Jaime Reyes. The Scarab explains that Kid Flash is being treated as an exit outlet. I believe that's how it's worded. An exit outlet for the energy, because Kid Flash's top speed is slower than Flash and Impulse's top speed. And the Scarab even tells Jaime Reyes that Kid Flash only has about 16 seconds before he ceases. And Flash ends up catching this eventually, and he tells Impulse that the two of them should slow down so that Kid Flash doesn't take the full brunt of, doesn't take the full force of this exit energy outlet. But it's too late. Kid Flash is already starting to vanish. And Kid Flash tries to tell his uncle to let others know his final words, but he doesn't get to finish his sentence. Kid Flash disappears. The heroes present cheer at first because they managed to stop the Reach's plan to destroy the Earth. But Artemis notices that Kid Flash is nowhere in sight. And Flash tells Artemis that Kid Flash's final words were to tell Artemis that he, Kid Flash, loves her, and she starts to cry because she has lost Kid Flash, and the other heroes do comfort her over the loss. We then cut to Mount Justice, where the Justice League members that were on Rimbor have returned, and they're surprised to see that Mount Justice has been destroyed. Suddenly, most of the Young Justice team members arrive to meet the Justice League, and the way they arrive actually mirrors the scene from Fireworks and Happy New Year, where the many heroes were flying down. So we get a reference to that particular scene, and Aqualad assures the Justice League members that have returned that the crisis has been avoided, or the crisis has been stopped. But it came at a great price. And we do see Artemis heading to Central City to tell Kid Flash's parents about Kid Flash's premature passing, and they all comfort each other during this hard time. The next scene, we jump ahead to the 4th of July, Independence Day, and it's New York City, and Cad Grant is on the news covering how the Reach are finally leaving Earth. And we see many of the Justice League members are seeing to it that the Reach leave Earth. And on the main spacecraft, the Reach scientist is saying how she told the Reach ambassador that she wanted to study what caused the Scarab to go off mode in the first place all those years ago. But the Reach ambassador and the Scarabless Black Beetle just silently stare at her, and she just decides, she just gives them a look, and then we cut to the Watchtower next, and we find out that's right, some of the Justice League members are watching the news where G. Gordon Godfrey is telling everyone that Sane has resigned from his position at the United Nations. And he says that Lex Luthor should be the one to take up the position next because of Lex Luthor's part in stopping the Reach's invasion. Superman naturally is not happy about this idea. And Captain Atom says that he's now handing over the position of leader or chairman of the Justice League to Black Canary. And we also find out that we see Nightwing talking to Aqualad, and Nightwing tells Aqualad that he's going to take a leave of absence for now. And he does assure Aqualad that Batgirl will be willing to help him if he needs any help. And Aqualad shows that he understands because Nightwing is still mourning Kid Flash's passing, and Aqualad does show sympathy and understanding about this. We also see that the Young Justice team has gained a new member. Virgil Hawkins ended up joining the Young Justice team, and he's now going by the codename Static. And we do hear from him that the other Runaways have decided to retire from the hero business, although he doesn't know what became of Arsenal. And we do find out that Robin and Wonder Girl have become a couple, which Superboy points out, and he's surprised by it. He's like, what? When did that happen? And Miss Martian says it happened after Kid Flash's heroic sacrifice. mentioning that it led to a realization how life is short, and that heroic sacrifice also led to Wonder Girl having the courage to express her feelings to Robin. And that's right, speaking of Kid Flash now has a holographic statue in honor of his heroic sacrifice. There's a part of the Watchtower that has a garden which has all of these holographic statues. So it's like the Watchtower's equivalent to the Grotto from Mount Justice. And we see that Impulse has become the new Kid Flash. And Artemis has actually taken up her Tigress. She's taken up her Tigress identity now rather than going by her Artemis identity. Although she's not wearing the glamour charm, so she's still in her true appearance, just that she's wearing her Tigress outfit with her true appearance. And Artemis says that Artemis was Kid Flash's partner, so she needs some distance. So that's why she's taking up her Tigress identity. So the Justice League tell the Young Justice team members that because of the Reach invasion, they were able to stop the Reach invasion. The Young Justice team have proven themselves as being able to work with the Justice League on the Watchtower, not because of Mount Justice being destroyed, but because they've earned it. So the Justice League members leave to let the Young Justice team coordinate their missions. And Nightwing is watching this from a distance, and he says business as usual. But we're not done just yet. The next scene takes us to Apocalypse on July 5th, where the War World is arriving at Apocalypse, and then Vandal Savage, through a boom tube portal, arrives in a building, and Desaad and G. Gordon Godfrey are in the building, and they're watching as Vandal Savage goes to meet a certain individual. The individual turns around, and we see that it's none other than... Yes, the individual is none other than Darkseid. And silently, Vandal Savage and Darkseid shake hands. Vandal Savage then comments, business as usual. And that's how we end the episode. So there we go, the Season 2 finale of Young Justice. And it was definitely a big episode. They really finished off the Invasion season, or the Reach Saga, as some fans have called it. They finished it off with quite a lot of changes. They did succeed in stopping the Reach. The heroes succeeded in stopping the Reach, but yeah, there were great sacrifices that happened. Kid Flash's sacrifice definitely caught many by surprise, especially if what I've read is to be based on what I've read. I heard that the scene was actually very similar to the scene where Barry Allen had passed away, but so this might have been a not his sled moment. Like, people use the phrase "it was his sled" to refer to a big surprise or something that used to be a big surprise or a big spoiler when it was originally released to the public, but has become pretty well known afterwards. Not his sled is, from what I understand, when an adaptation sets up a scene similar to that, but then they pull the rug under your feet, so to speak. So if what I've read is accurate, it looked like they were setting up what seemed to be Barry Allen's usual passing moment, but instead it happened to Kid Flash instead. And I'll admit, yeah, it was definitely a surprise that Kid Flash ended up meeting his end. And I'll admit, Kid Flash wasn't my favorite member of the Young Justice team, but yeah, it was still a sad moment all the same. And I definitely felt bad for everyone that they lost their teammate and their friend and what have you. It was definitely a surprise, and people are wondering, maybe there's a chance that Kid Flash can return still in Season 3 because, well, comic books in general have been known for having characters that died but come back to life in some way. So, and even in the Young Justice TV series or the Earth 16 universe, there have been examples of characters being killed but brought back to life. Mostly Ra's al Ghul, actually. I should mention that, yeah. Ra's al Ghul was the character who was killed but brought back to life in the Earth 16 universe. So I guess it's not too far-fetched that Kid Flash could still survive or come back by the time Season 3 rolls around. We'll just have to be patient and see how things play out in Season 3. And otherwise, yeah, Static has finally joined the Young Justice team. And yeah, according to what's been revealed of Season 3 so far, as of the recording of this video anyway, Static has been confirmed to appear in Season 3. So that's good. We'll get to see more of Static in action in Season 3. And I do have to admit, though, I'm a little disappointed that the other Runaways didn't stick around to be heroes still. Ty, Eduardo Jr., and Asami. I thought it kind of felt like it was a wasted potential that those characters didn't get to join the Young Justice team. It could have been nice to have some other members join in too, but I guess then again, maybe something will happen in Season 3. They haven't been confirmed to appear in Season 3 yet, as of the recording of this video, but maybe. I guess we just have to be patient still. But for now, yeah, I'm a little bummed out that Static was the only Runaway who actually joined the Young Justice team. And similarly, I was also disappointed that Green Beetle's Scarab was destroyed, because Green Beetle could have been a really cool ally to stick around in the future. Even if he didn't necessarily join the Justice League, he could have still been like a hero that helps out on occasion. So, I mean, granted, Martians still do have impressive abilities, but Green Beetle was unique among Martians. And yeah, I guess you could say that's why I was really disappointed that the Green Scarab was destroyed, because Green Beetle was such a unique character, or a cool combination of Scarab user and Martian. So it's disappointing to see we won't get to see that again in Season 3, or if he does appear in Season 3, we don't know if Ba'ar's Om will show up or not. But that's why I'm still hopeful that Green Beetle will still get to show up in other adaptations, or maybe they can incorporate Green Beetle into the main DC comics. I'm still holding out hope for Green Beetle to be to get the Harley Quinn treatment, or the Livewire treatment, or the Mercy Graves treatment. Lockup. Yeah, Lockup was another character like that, actually. Yeah, that was another character too. Yeah, I would like that if Green Beetle got to be one of those characters that were created in an adaptation but added into the main comics. And the other big thing in this episode was the ending, the revelation that Darkseid is one of the Light's allies. Well, they hinted at it all the way back in Season 1, but like I mentioned in previous recap and thoughts, the Young Justice TV series was very hush-hush about Darkseid's identity. They didn't really, and even here, they don't actually refer to Darkseid by his name in the episode. It's not spoken out loud, and he doesn't get to talk in this episode, but it is known that it is Darkseid. There was some commentary that clarified that, yes, Darkseid, he is Darkseid. So I still got to give them credit for that, though. It was pretty cool how they were keeping new viewers in mind. Like, they weren't just giving stuff away for the sake of those who were going in without any prior knowledge of the DC Comics or DC Comics history. And that was cool. It was a way where longtime fans could say like, oh, I know what they're hinting at, or oh, I know what they're referencing, while a new viewer gets to learn more about it step by step. So that was a cool touch. I did appreciate that. And I do remember a lot of people were surprised that Robin and Wonder Girl ended up becoming a couple. Like, Superboy's reaction mirrored a lot of other people's reaction when they were like, what? When did that happen? And according to some of the previews of Season 3, or what little information that has been revealed of Season 3 as of the recording of this video, it does look like Robin and Wonder Girl will be returning in Season 3. So I'm hoping that they'll get some more prevalence in Season 3, because I mentioned it before. There were a couple of characters introduced in Season 2 that I wish we saw more of in Season 2, but yeah, because of the way the season played out, they didn't get to play a big role in the grand scheme of things. And I know some people didn't like how Blue Beetle got the lion's share of attention in Season 2, but I can understand that. I understand why Blue Beetle got a lot of attention in Season 2, because the Reach are part of Blue Beetle's rogues gallery, and the Reach were the main villains, or co-main villains, I should say. The Light were still main villains, but the Reach were very specific main villains for this specific season. So I do understand Blue Beetle's prevalent role in the season, and as long as other characters do get their time to shine in Season 3, I'll be okay with it. Like, if Wonder Girl, Beast Boy, Batgirl, and other characters get their time to shine in Season 3, then I'll be okay with it. And yeah, there we go. Season 2 is complete, or we've now discussed all the episodes of Season 2 of Young Justice on this channel now. And so far, as of the recording of this video, Season 3 has not been released to the public just yet. Now, I've been thinking about it. I've considered it for a while now, and I've decided I think I will provide recap and thoughts for the tie-in comics. I think because the tie-in comics do provide their share of important details as well, or they help to fill in the blanks of certain things that may not have been mentioned directly or clearly in the TV series, because, well, the episodes are roughly a half hour, give or take a few minutes. So there's only so much time to fit so much in there. So yeah, that's, I decided, I think I'll go ahead and I will recap and share. Yeah, I'll give my recap and thoughts for the tie-in comics as well. And otherwise, though, I do look forward to eventually providing recap and thoughts for Season 3's episodes, but we're going to have to be patient and wait a while. It might take some time before we... it could take a while. Season 3 is said to be released in 2018, but as of the recording of this video, an exact month and an exact day haven't been given just yet. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on any more information regarding Season 3 of Young Justice. So there you go. We've now discussed episode 46 of Young Justice on this channel. Take care, and until next time.